Hello and a big welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is qualifying for the 2023 Las Vegas Grand Prix. If you are new to the channel, if you are a Formula 1 fan, then get yourself subscribed. I'm live for every single Grand Prix from the Formula 1 World Championship. It's early start, it's an even earlier start tomorrow, 5:45 UK time for the race itself. But we're here for qualifying, round 22 of 23. Only Vegas and Abu Dhabi left until we come back next March with everyone on 0 points and we start again. But this is the big one, under the lights in Vegas. We've already had the controversy, we've already had the off-show antics. Let's have a bit of on-track action. But yeah, qualifying due to start in about 7 or 8 minutes time. Welcome to the stream, Chrissy. I think it's just me and you this morning. It is an early one. Unless YouTube decides to promote this to the US side of YouTube. It might be just me and you. Because European time. Put it this way, you've got to be a pretty hardcore fan to be getting up at 5:45 tomorrow morning to watch the race if you're in Europe. A hardcore fan is what I am. But yeah, FP3 a couple of hours ago. George Russell was quickest. Oscar Piastri was second. Logan Sargent third. I'll tell you what, I'd take that as a top 3 on the grid in an hour's time. Russell, Piastri, Sargent sounding good, but Williams are always going to be strong on tracks that are low downforce circuits, basically. So Williams are always going to be quick down the longer straights. They should have done better in Italy and Spa, really. But yeah, can Williams challenge for the second row of the grid? Maybe. Alexander Albon had a little bit of an incident at the end of the session, brought out the red flag, knocked a rear wheel off his car, hit the wall. So Alex not coming into it with the greatest amount of confidence, but Williams looking decent, and I hope they can get him in amongst it. You've been up for 2 hours, yeah, that is a proper early start. On a Saturday anyway. Yeah, there's not many get up at 5 AM on a Saturday morning, so fair play to you. But yeah, it bodes well. The pace on the pace a couple of hours ago in final practice from the Williams, from the McLaren, it bodes well. Ferrari didn't manage to get their quickest times on the soft tyre. They didn't manage to get a proper lap in, so Ferrari down in 16th and 17th. I wouldn't read anything into that. They're looking quick this weekend from well, FP. I was going to say FP1, FP2, but there wasn't really an FP1 with the incident with the grid cover coming loose. FP1 was sort of cancelled. And they ran FP2 at 3 o'clock in the morning with no fans, so it didn't get off to the best start, this event. But hopefully we're in full flow now and we can get to the actual on-track action rather than some other storylines. Once you're awake, that's it. Yeah. That's it. Once you're up, no going back. You're up for the day then. Oh, let's go. It's Vegas. I say it yesterday. I was watching practice last night. I was like, I can't believe. I never would have seen a day that F1's going down Vegas Strip. Like, even in the 18 years that I've been watching this, it's changed so much. I never could have envisioned this in like 2005, 2006. This is on a different scale to what I could have ever imagined. Racing down the strip. Let's have a go. Second fastest circuit on the calendar as well. Only Monza is quicker than Vegas. So it's not like Monaco where it's tight, twisty through the streets. This is long straights, big braking zones, and actual overtaking opportunities. Yeah, low temperatures as well. 16 degrees on track, because you are in the middle of the night in November, so it's not going to be red hot, is it? It's going to be freezing out there in Formula One terms, especially when you're coming from the Middle East events where it's 35, 40 degrees, and all of a sudden you're in Vegas at 16 degrees in the middle of the night. This would be very interesting to see what happens here, because I feel like the man who takes pole here, you can forget the form book. I think it's about having a clean lap when it matters right at the end of the sessions. If you get that clean lap, you're going to get a lot of mistakes. It's a brand new circuit. It's not rubbered in. There's no grip. It's going to be about keeping it clean. Rather than a perfect lap, it's going to be about not making a mistake, and you're going to do pretty well. Yes, SHT. It has been a bit. Yeah, mate. I know for your time zone, the races like US, Mexico, and Brazil are going to be at mad times, I would think, in Southeast Asia. Yeah, so I can understand why you might have not been around for those races, because that'll be evening UK, probably like early hours of the morning, wouldn't it? Like a Texas Grand Prix, Mexico Grand Prix must have been like 4 a.m. or something, 5 a.m. for you. Would have been savage. Oh, mate, Brazil was awesome. Brazil, the end of Brazil with Alonso versus Perez. That was epic. That was epic. The last, I think it's like the last 2 or 3 laps of that. Definitely one of the highlights of the season, if not the highlight of the season, because it's not been a classic, has it? But yeah, definitely one of the highlights of the season. And you're a Alonso fan as well, so even more for you. It was mega, absolutely mega. I was like, go on, Fernando. Here we go then. 3, 2, 1, and qualifying is underway in Las Vegas. Well, hopefully the live timings and GPS will be sweet. This light's a bit much, isn't it? Let me just... It's a bit... It's gone into strobe mode. Right, we've ticked past midnight local time in Vegas and qualifying is underway. Q1 is an 18-minute session at the end of which we will get rid of the slowest 5 drivers and their grid position all be set. We then send the top 15 through to Q2. That'll be a 15-minute session at the end of which the slowest 5 drivers will be knocked out, and then there'll be a 12-minute Q3 at the end of which we will have our pole position man for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Going into this session, we've got Carlos Sainz with a 10-place grid penalty. So whatever happens to Sainz, he's going to drop back 10 places through no fault of his own, through a loose drain cover on Friday night, resulted in the the drain cover casing, the concrete drain cover casing, punching a hole right through the bottom of his chassis, damaging the engine, gearbox, battery, and Carlos Sainz himself, and millions of pounds worth of damage. So Sainz, through no fault of his own, has got a 10-place grid penalty for new, I don't know if it's new engine parts or new battery. Either way, it's kind of ruined his race weekend. He'll be able to come through the field a bit, but it's not what you want to be faced with coming into qualifying. So yeah, Sainz with the 10-place grid penalty, and as far as I know, he's the only one with an asterisk next to his name in terms of where he qualifies. Everybody else, what happens. And yeah, so Logan Sargent for pole. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Thought when Perez took Alonso, it's over. It's never over with Alonso, is it? Yeah, can't doubt Fernando's racecraft. Yeah, man, he knew exactly he was playing DRS, right? And he knew, man. Fernando's been around the block. As long as Hamilton Disney win. Hey, Chrissy, you be happy. Hamilton hasn't won a race for 2 clear years. And that is, up to this point in his career, he's won a race every season that he's raced in Formula One. And now with 2 seasons in a row where he hasn't won. So I think it's about time Lewis won a race. You've had 2 years in the clear, Chrissy. Because he hasn't won nothing in 2 years. So I would love a Hamilton win. It's about damn time. But it's probably not going to be this weekend. You're probably looking at next season. You're probably looking at next spring before you'll have a chance anyway. Before Lewis will have a chance anyway. Unless something wild happens. But yeah, Q1 underway. Yes, Jane. Jenny, welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. What will it be in Australia? It'll be evening. It'll be late night, Australia. I don't even know. He's a little git. Leclerc is on a quick lap. His purple sector 1 and 2. And Perez goes quickest on a 1:35.3 is the live time is working. It should be. Yeah, we're all right. We're underway. 7 p.m. Decent. That's decent time. 7 p.m. qualifying, and then what will it be? 5 p.m. race tomorrow. That's all right. Australians are doing all right this weekend. Norris and Piastri go 3rd and 4th for McLaren. And Leclerc's gone quickest and on a 34.898. So it's Leclerc, Perez and the 2 McLarens early doors in Q1. Magnussen, Bottas, Sainz, Hulkenberg, Zhou. And only 9 drivers have set competitive time so far. As Logan Sargent's on a lap then. Not many drivers have 3 home races in one season. But Logan Sargent has got the luxury of that. I tell you what, if Sargent, look at this, P2. Sargent's got to get through to Q3 here. The Williams is rapid in a straight line. The Sargent's got to get through to Q3 here. If Sargent bottles this and ends up starting 15th, I feel like it's a big opportunity missed. Great lap. Good time for a change. Yeah, because being an F1 fan in Australia must be awful. Especially, most races must start in the middle of the night, which is brutal. Stroll got a 5-place grid penalty for alleged overtaking under yellow flags. Did he? Stroll rocking with a 5-place grid penalty. I knew about the Sainz 10-place, so we've also got Stroll out there with a 5-place as well. Appreciate the update. I wasn't getting up for FP3 at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. There's limits. Magnussen, purple sector 1. Go on then, Kevin. Round the final corner, he comes to the line and goes P4, Kevin Magnussen. Still early on here. We've both Mercedes haven't even set a time yet. Neither's Albon, neither's Alonso. I don't know if they're still working on Albon's car, but hopefully he can get out there and set a proper time. But Verstappen's gone second as well in the middle of all that. He might put it into the wall. Who? Logan. Yeah, like going for gold, like going for glory, ends up binning it. Cheers, Chrissy. Yeah, do drop me a like, guys. It will help promote the channel. And hopefully we get a few in for the race tomorrow, even though it's early doors. If YouTube decides to show it to the American audience, as all the US F1 fans search it up on YouTube, bit of F1 tomorrow, hopefully my stream pops up and we can get a few in. Because there won't be many in from Europe anyway. But Leclerc goes quickest then by 7/10. And it's a Ferrari 1-2 now with 9.5 minutes to go in Q1. For Leclerc does a 34 flat. And it looks like Lewis is warming up for a quick one. Piastri goes P6 in the McLaren. So yeah, Alonso, Albon and both Mercedes. A little bit under pressure, having not set a proper lap time yet. And we're halfway through the session. Yes, Gav, welcome in, bro. Early start, my G. Oh, Piastri's brushed the wall there. Whew. Bit of an Elvis kiss me tender, oh my God. Here comes Alonso then to set his first proper lap and goes P4 in the Aston Martin. Not bad at all, 35 flat. Albeit a second off the pace that Leclerc set. It's a great lap from Charles Leclerc there. He's a second quicker than the field. But here comes Albon. He's only got a couple more corners to go. Oh, it's a beautiful, yeah, it's a nice, do you know what? It's a nice little triple corner exit there, but he's going to go flat out round the final corner now and across the line for P4, 4th and 6th early on for Williams. Looking quick, man. It is still Q1, mate. We are 7.5 minutes to go in Q1. And at the end of which the slowest 5 drivers will be knocked out. Who's at the moment is Gasly, Stroll, Tsunoda, Hamilton and Russell. But Hamilton and Russell are about to set a proper time. As Hamilton goes P3 then. So half a second off the pace. Not too bad. I tell you what, Leclerc's lap. Sure, Charles Leclerc's got to be odds on for pole position here. It's got to be. Charles Leclerc's got to be favourite for pole. Just looking rapid. Nine tenths quicker than Verstappen. Yeah, Leclerc's got to be odds on favourite for pole position here. He's looking quick, man. Lance Stroll, green middle sector, needs a lap as well, down in P18, goes to 14th. Not looking particularly great, that is it for Stroll. And he's got a 5-place grid penalty as well, like you say, SHT, so Stroll's starting last, isn't he? Stroll's lining up P20 here tomorrow. What do you think of circuit so far? Yeah, I think it's good, you know. As new circuits go, because a lot of them are pants. I don't know. Ask me after the race tomorrow. If it produces good racing, that's really the golden ticket. It can look as good as you want, but it's got to produce good racing. But pleasantly surprised, yeah. I mean, loose drain covers aside, it's looking good, man. And Russell goes P5 then. So Mercedes now 3rd and 5th. We've got 5 minutes, 15 seconds to go in Q1. And Verstappen then improves to P2, 2 tenths. Well, only a tenth actually off Leclerc's. So they've caught Leclerc up, but it's taken him an extra lap and an extra set of tyres. Charlie boy's looking good out front there at the minute. 5 minutes to go, then Leclerc's quickest on a 34.072. Verstappen a tenth off, and then Perez, Hamilton, Norris, Russell, Sainz, Piastri, Albon, Alonso, top 10 at the moment. Sargent down to P11, but he's on a lap. Sainz has gone purple, sector 1. It's unfair that Sainz has got a grid penalty. There should be a waiver if it's the circuit that's caused damage to you. I don't know, but then again, if there's like a waiver system where it's not your fault, you don't deserve a penalty, you don't get a penalty, then that opens a can of worms then. So I suppose when push comes to shove, they've got to stick to the rules. And as cruel as it is to Carlos Sainz, it's one of them. It's what it is. And he could end up setting the fastest lap here in Q3 and then ended up starting 11th, which is just going to be savage. But Ferrari looking quick. And they've done another quick lap, so it is Ferrari 1-2 now with 3.5 minutes to go in Q1. Sargent's gone 3rd, yeah, which is now 4th with the Ferraris improving, but Williams are looking... Sargent has to get through to Q3 today. He can't just bottle it and end up starting 14th. Look at this then. Pace from Haas as they go 4th and 5th. Alonso goes 8th. Yes, Donald, welcome to the stream, bro. How are we doing? Wow. Gasly's gone purple final sector and goes P4. Bottas follows him to the line in P5. Right, this is put the cat amongst the pigeons now with Gasly and Bottas and both Haas's in the top 7. Don't count your chickens. Nobody can count the chickens here because this could be anybody getting knocked out. With Gasly, Bottas, Hülkenberg and Magnussen going 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th in the last few seconds, has changed the game because now anybody can be knocked out. Perez is currently 9th. Mercedes are 11th and 13th. AlphaTauri look nowhere. Tsunoda desperately needs a lap. 2.8 seconds off the pace. Come on, Yuki. Replay of Lance Stroll and nearly 1 centimetre. As if they've got a graphic that comes up super close to the wall. Oh, we're like a Hollywood movie out here, aren't we? It's a Hollywood movie, this, isn't it? It's not real life, is it, this? Oh, I'm surprised they didn't have like a sound with it, like shoom, super close to the wall. It's basically Mario Kart, this, isn't it now? All the casual fans that said that we're one banana skin away from this being a Mario Kart track, aren't we, basically? We are. Which is... It's great, yeah. Love it. So we're into the final minute of Q1. And bottom 5 at the moment then is Joe Piastri, Stroll, and Riccardo Sonoda. Yeah, Piastri's in the drop zone, needs a lap. And it's not looking great. It's not looking... You don't like the circuit? No, I do. I do. I do like the circuit. I mean, I'm not sure what the sport's becoming. I'm conflicted because on one hand I think, what an event, this is unbelievable. Formula One's never been as big as it is right now. This is a fantastic event. And on the other hand, I'm thinking, you know, are they trying to make F1 into the Super Bowl? I'm conflicted, you know. On one hand, it's brilliant. On the other hand, it's like, oh, I don't know, a bit cringe. So, yeah. Anyway, we're at the end of Q1, and Hulkenberg's got P4. He's definitely through. It's Joe Piastri, Stroll, and both AlphaTauris under pressure then. We're all on a quick lap. Russell's gone P3, and he's safe then. Let's have a gander here. Danny Ricciardo's popped to 14th, but he might end up getting knocked out. I think Norris is going to be out here. I think Lando Norris is going to be knocked out. McLaren are in serious trouble here. We got Lando Norris is in the pits and he's going to be knocked out. I'm pretty sure. Because look at this. As Stroll goes 11th, Norris is out. Ocon and Zhou are out as well. Oh, Lando Norris was like second favourite to win the Grand Prix. Not anymore. Lando Norris is out. Is Piastri out as well? Yo, is Piastri out as well? Both McLarens knocked out in Q1. Ricciardo makes it through. And it's Norris out in P16. Esteban Ocon out in P17. Zhou Guanyu out in P18. Oscar Piastri out in P19. And Yuki Tsunoda, who never really got a lap together, in P20. 1.8 seconds off being safe. Yuki didn't have a chance. Haas, both of them are through because Rapid. Look at this traffic jam at the end of the lap. Oh, mate. This thing about them all trying to find a gap to start a final flying lap is a joke. And look at this with Ocon and Verstappen. Verstappen has done an absolute late lunge on Ocon into turn 1 as if they're racing for the championship. What has gone on there? Yo, that is the best overtake I've seen Verstappen do all season. Yo, as if Max has just sent a lunge in qualifying. Why, bro? That is ridiculous. Well, Verstappen and Ocon had a little race into turn 1, but I I would say no harm done, but Ocon's knocked out in P17, so it's probably not helped his day, really, has it? It looks like a bunch of straights. It's a pig. It's a pig, look. You know what I mean? There's two front trotters there. It's a pig, look. It's a Vegas pig. Sargent, where is he? Yeah, Sargent through. Both Williams are through. Both Haas looking strong. 5th and 9th. Gasly P6, Ocon out in P17. I mean, I don't know what Verstappen was doing there. I don't know if Verstappen was getting some sort of revenge for being held up. I don't know, but Verstappen and Ocon have always had a bit of friction. In fact, I think if I'm not wrong, yeah, I think Ocon beat Verstappen in Formula 3 in like 2013 or something. Do you know what I mean? So there's a bit of previous, and then not to mention the whole Brazil like bust up that they had about 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Ocon beat Verstappen in equal machinery a few years ago, but it happened. Verstappen's still fuming. He still remembers. Still fuming, mate. No, they've always had. They've never really got on, have they? Yeah, Ricciardo got through by the skin of his teeth. Perez 13th as well. So Perez didn't cruise through, did he, there? I think Hamilton's got to outscore Perez by 6 points this weekend to keep that battle going to the final round for P2 in the championship, which, I mean, you don't really get a prize for finishing second, but other than, I don't know, self-pride. They were trying to work out how many times Hamilton finished second in the championship as well, which I don't know the answer to that, but he must have done it a handful of times. I mean, is it life-changing if Hamilton finishes second or third in the championship? Probably not. Yuki Tsunoda absolutely fuming, as is the norm. You gotta love Yuki. Ricciardo's revenge, yeah. Ricciardo's effectively knocked Lando Norris out of the session. Why are they still... What's with... They look like they're ready to send Lando Norris out again. Has no one told them that they've been knocked out? Look at that shot of Vegas Strip, mate. It is impressive. Do you think Max could win all 23 seats? I bloody hope not, Gav. Bloody hell. You're writing off next season 6 months before it begins. That's brutal. I bloody well hope not. I tell you what, I've been praying for a good 9 months that next year we get a proper championship battle. I want to see Mercedes buck up their ideas and finally come to a concept that works. I want to see McLaren have got a chance of challenging it, but yeah, we need to see it much closer next season. I am hoping and praying that this is just a one-off. I can't be dealing with like multiple years like this where it's just like the Verstappen show. Nah, man. You can't write it off now, Jesus. But I'll say, like, if he wins, like, the first 3 or 4 next season, I'll be like, oh, yeah. It's happening again. It's happening again. It's the Verstappen era. No, it's got to be. They've got to catch him up, man. The thing is, I've said this before, I don't mind if Verstappen wins, but it's got to be close. It's got to be close. He can't be cruising to victories by 35 seconds and doing the final stint at half. You know what I mean? With the engine turned down and just cruising about and winning by 35 seconds. Nah. I don't mind him winning if he's having to fight tooth and nail and he wins it by a second and he's been hunted down and it's really close and it's on because he had a quicker pit stop and did this crazy lunge overtake and then he wins. All right. You know what I mean? Brilliant. Right. You have the win. But not cruising win after win after win after win and rocking up 10 wins in a row just because. Like, no, we can't be having a year like that next year. McLaren have got to put on a serious fight, which I think they will. I hope they will. You know, it's time for Lando Norris to step up. I said in Brazil when Lando was really challenging Max in the first dozen laps in Brazil last week, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, this is a glimpse of the future. Lando Norris hunting down Verstappen for the win. I was like, here's a glimpse of what we want to see. You know, it's time for Lando Norris to get a championship, a car that's can fight for the world championship. It's time for Lando Norris to be delivered that kind of machinery. It's also time for Mercedes to come back. They've had 2 years in the shadows. They've had 1 win in the last 2 seasons. You know, it's time for Mercedes to buck their ideas up, get back in the fight. It's time for Ferrari to finally nail down some sort of consistency, because one weekend they're absolutely rapid and the following weekend they'll finish 7th and 8th and not really know what happened. So it's time for Ferrari to step up. You've got Aston Martin with a whole bunch of they've got like a new factory, they've got a whole load of new investment. They started the season so strong and Verstappen's nearest challenger. Can Aston Martin take another step next season? We cannot have Max Verstappen cruising to 21 out of 23 wins next season or whatever it is. You know, we can't have that. It's got to be closer, man. And I don't mind who challenges, but somebody has to. Whether it's McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, Aston Martin, or Alpine, if you want, with a garage full of celebrities. Let Alpine have a go. Why don't all those celebrities put £50 million in each, and Alpine just launch an absolute rocket ship next March, with all the celebrities stood behind it going, yeah, speed costs money. How fast you want to go, bang, and all the celebrities just dip their hand in the pocket, and Alpine produce an absolute rocket, and it's fucking Gasly versus Verstappen for the championship. Let's have a go. Somebody's got to step up, please. I don't want to be sitting through 24 races next season of the Verstappen show. Nah, man. It's like watching Man City beat everyone 6-0 every week. It's like, is it going to be 6 or 7 this week? Like, nah, man. Let's have a bit of competition. But anyway, Q2's well underway. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Gav. No, Verstappen will not win all 23 races this season. He better bloody not. Nobody was pissed off. Oh, a lot of people were pissed off. But they didn't dominate like this, though, Gav. They didn't dominate like this. Out of a 20 race season, Hamilton would win like 9 or 10 races. Hamilton has never had a season where he's won more than like half the races of that season. You know what I mean? Out of a 19-20 race season, Hamilton was winning 8, 9, 10 races. He wasn't winning 19 out of 20. This is domination beyond anything the sport's ever seen. Even in Michael Schumacher's heyday, he wasn't racking up this much domination. Even in Michael Schumacher's heyday, it wasn't as brutal as this is. This has never been seen before. And it's nothing compared to the Mercedes domination. Was tame compared to this. This has been an absolute walkover. But yeah, Alonso currently fastest. We were 8 minutes to go in Q2. I'll focus on the session now. Is it the best car or the best driver? It's always been a combination of the two. You're not going to win anything by putting a bang average driver in the fastest car. And you're not going to win anything if you put the fastest driver in a bang average car. So it's a combination. And the Red Bull RB19 and Max Verstappen is a pretty good combination. Maybe the best the sport's ever seen. So it's always a combination of the two. That Williams in Sector 3 is absolutely rapid. I'm not surprised. I want to see it really competitive. But yeah, it was 7.5 minutes to go in Q2. And Hamilton is on a lap. And Rosberg will win the rest. Yeah, I suppose... Yeah, I know what you mean. This has been more driver dominated, whereas the Mercedes years was more team dominated. Yeah, this has been a lot more. It's been a one driver this year, whereas in the Mercedes years it was one team. At least you had Rosberg fighting for the championship. Bottas didn't really have a proper go, did he? But at least Rosberg had a fight for the championship. But that's more interesting than it is now, because at least you've got a bit of jeopardy within the team. It's like if Sergio Perez was fighting for this championship and still had a chance now, this season's 10 times better than it is. Do you know what I mean? If Sergio Perez is still in with a chance of the championship now, the whole thing is 10 times better. So I prefer both drivers fighting it out. If you're going to have a dominant car, let's have both drivers having a do. Which also makes me think that the Red Bull is not as dominant as what Max would have you believe. I said this before. I think the Red Bull is a little bit better, but not as clear as what Verstappen would have you believe. So we've got 5.5 minutes to go. It's Verstappen, Hamilton, Russell, Alonso, Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Albon, Gasly, Magnussen top 10. So bottom 5 at the moment then is Sargent, Stroll, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, and Bottas, with Charles Leclerc going purple. Middle sector, I've got to back Leclerc for the pole here. You're what? Well, welcome to the stream. In other words, Max is just class. Max is utterly dominant in a way that the sport has never seen before. This Max Verstappen's prime will go down as the greatest career prime in Formula One history. Like Michael Schumacher's dominance will be blown out of the water. Lewis Hamilton's dominance blown out of the water. The stats is just incredible. As Magnussen goes P4. Magnussen was quickest in Sector 1. Kevin Magnussen's gone purple Sector 1. Work that out. Leclerc's looking rapid as well out front of 32.834. He's half a second quicker than his teammate and a second quicker than the rest of the field. Yeah, SHT. Leclerc looking rapid. We're on board with Valtteri Bottas, who needs a lap in his special edition liveried Alfa Romeo. Yeah, he's the first into the 32s. Yeah, 32.834 is the quickest time of the weekend. As Bottas improves but goes only P10, he's going to be in trouble there. Ferrari have been fast all weekend, and it's such a shame that Sainz will drop down 10 positions from wherever he qualifies, because it coulda, woulda, shoulda be a Ferrari front row this weekend. I mean, whether they convert that anyway, you know, Ferrari don't tend to convert front rows into wins these days, but it's looking like it should have been a Ferrari front row, this. But Sainz with the grid penalty, no fault of his own. So he'll start P11 at best. He'll come through the field, but it's not good, is it? Not fair, really, either. So what have we got then? With 2 minutes to go in Q2, it's a Ferrari 1-2, Leclerc, Sainz, then Verstappen, Magnussen, Hamilton, Perez, Russell, Alonso, Hulkenberg, Bottas. So at the moment, both Hasses are in the top 10. It must just be because of their lack of downforce, just rapid in a straight line. So actually having a bad car downforce-wise works out a treat when you've got a 2 kilometre straight down the Las Vegas Strip, because you don't need any downforce on a 2 kilometre straight down the Las Vegas Strip. So Haas, lacking in downforce, really slippery down the straights, and both in the top 10 at the moment. Williams just outside it, 11th and 13th at the moment. I hope that at least one of them gets through. If Red Bull said to you, right, Rob, we're going to dominate in 2024, but you can pick the driver partner for Max, who would you pick to keep up with Max? Norris. Yeah, Norris is a good shout. If you put Fernando Alonso in, it'd be absolute fireworks as well. Fernando Alonso would just go for some crazy moves and shove Verstappen out of it more often than what you probably think. So putting Alonso in the other car would be fireworks. Putting Hamilton in the other car would be borderline suicidal. But yeah, Norris would give him a fight, wouldn't he? I'd like to think Lando Norris would give him a run for his money. But in terms of sheer entertainment, I'd put Alonso in the other car, because nobody's dominating Alonso. That's the thing. That's it right there. I can envision a world where Norris gets dominated, and it wouldn't be that outrageous. It'd be like, well, Lando Norris is not as good as what we thought. But can I envisage a world where Fernando Alonso gets absolutely dominated? No. Fernando Alonso would, on sheer entertainment terms, stick him in that other Red Bull and we get a show. He wouldn't lay down and let Verstappen beat him 20 times in a row. No, not a chance. Not a chance. So yeah, I'd stick Alonso in for the absolute chaos that would ensue. But Norris, yeah, I'd like to think Norris would have a good go, yeah. Only because I don't think Albon will go back. Yeah, no, Albon's not even part of the Red Bull program anymore. But anyway, Q2 is a checkered flags are flying. Look at this. Albon's going through. Gasly's gone to P4. Oh, my goodness me. Is Hamilton and Perez both out? Hamilton and Perez have both been knocked out. As Leclerc goes quickest on a 32.7. Hamilton, Perez, Hulkenberg, Stroll, Ricciardo look like they've been knocked out. So we've got both Williams through. Bottas is through. Gasly's through. Wow. Alonso would make Max OP. Well, Alonso would send Max into the wall. Logan with a mega. Yeah, Logan through. Both Williams are in. I'm glad both Williams are in. They need to take the chance. But Lewis Hamilton qualifies only 11th for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Wow. And look at how dominant Ferrari are at the front. Verstappen's nowhere near it. I mean, he might pull out some sort of magic in the final part of qualifying, but you've got Perez knocked out, Verstappen only P5 and 8/10 off it. There's only half a tenth between Verstappen and Albon, 6th and 7th. Ferrari are cruising it out front. Leclerc half a second quicker than his teammate. Oh, it's a mess from Hamilton, that. Knocked out. A second off the pace. 4/10 off his teammate. Ricciardo P15. Wow. I'd love to see Sainz going through the field. Yeah, so would I. I think he will. The Ferrari's looking rapid, and it's going to be all about top-end speed as well. Ferrari will have the engine turned to the max. Well, they all will, won't they? It's going to be... You could get some mad DRS trains tomorrow. But yeah, knocked out then at the end of Q2. Hamilton P11, Perez P12. What? Yet another Q2 session with Sergio Perez knocked out. A car that has won 20 of the 21 races so far, or 19 out of the 20 races so far, and he just keeps getting knocked out in Q2. It's not great, is it? It's not been a great season for Sergio Perez, has it? Really? It's been below average on it for Perez. He's probably done just about enough to keep a seat, basically. He's done just about enough to keep a seat, but nothing more. And I remember saying after Baku, which was round 4, I remember going, this championship is on, because they had 2 wins each, Verstappen and Perez, after 4 races. They had 2 wins each, and I was there going, this championship is on. It wasn't. Spoiler alert. Championship wasn't on. Maybe it was wishful thinking, but it's been the Verstappen show since Easter. Yeah, Perez knocked out in Q2 again is. I was thinking Perez could fight for the win here. It's a street track. I don't get it. But yeah, Hamilton out in P11, Sergio Perez out in P12, Nico Hulkenberg out in P13, Lance Stroll out in P14, and Daniel Ricciardo out in P15. We are going through to Q3. Pole position shootout starts in the next couple of minutes. 8 different constructors in Q3, yeah. It is massive for Williams. Yeah, the points is really close, isn't it? Should Las Vegas Grand Prix went ahead after loose manhole covers? Yeah, they've sorted it out now, Chris. Yeah. It's not going to affect the full weekend. It'd have been all hands on deck, Chris, to sort that out on Friday night. All the welders in the country would have been descending on that place. No, you can't spend £500 million and cancel the event over a loose manhole cover, can you? They have got that sorted out rapid, mate. Honestly, that would have been full panic stations, and they would have had. They would have had the best people in the country on the job fixing. And the thing is, because that one manhole cover failed, they had to check the other 16 or whatever on the circuit and make sure they were all safe. I think they've basically concreted them all in. So I don't know what they're going to do after the event, but I think they've just all the manhole covers. I think they've just concreted over all the drains. Let's just concrete it over, open it back up, and worry about it after the event. Let's just concrete it over, smooth it all off, get the event back underway, and worry about it on Monday when everyone's gone home. I think they've played that kind of a card, to be honest. There won't be any more potholes, put it that way. They've all just been filled in, basically. Worry about it next week. When I saw Perez was not coming out, I was like, why is he not coming out? I don't know. Have they messed up the run plan or something for Perez? I don't even know. I know, Gav, silly season's been dead. I was saying this a few weeks ago. There has been no silly season this season. So we've not even had drivers moving. We've only had the AlphaTauri saga where they sack De Vries, they bring Ricciardo in, Ricciardo gets a hand injury, then they bring in Liam Lawson. Then now Ricciardo's fit again. They bring Ricciardo back in, put Liam Lawson on the sideline. So it's only been the AlphaTauri Ricciardo in and out scenario. Other than that, everyone's either signed contracts extensions with the teams that they're at, or they've already got a lengthy contract. But no, we've not really seen anything in the way of driver moves from this season to next. It's pretty much as you were. And I think pretty much everyone's confirmed. I think both Haas are confirmed, aren't they? But yeah, I think it's as you were for next season, because Perez is going to keep his seat, because that would have been a major one, if Perez lost the seat. And they put Ricciardo in there, but I think for 2025, I think we could see a few swaps and changes. It could be like musical chairs come the end of next season, but from this to next, probably been the deadest transfer. It's not a transfer window, but yeah, it's actually worked, because I think Logan Sargent, I don't know if it's been confirmed, but Sargent's got the seat. I don't know if it's been officially confirmed, but Logan Sargent's in. Do you know what I mean? He's and Zhou Guan Yu's been confirmed. I think both Haas's are confirmed. Alpine guys are on long contracts. Ferrari are sorted out. Mercedes are sorted out. Perez is keeping his seat. Yeah. No major. The one that should be considered more than it is Lance Stroll. How Lance Stroll could be in a seriously competitive car is not really fair. Not really fair. That sphere thing, yeah. I'm telling you now, yeah, that sphere thing, it's basically just a massive, fancy advertising board, isn't it? It's just a fancy billboard. It is just the biggest advertising billboard in the world. That is what it is. I'm sorry to break any bubbles, but it's just an advertising board that's the size of a, like, that the whole city can see. It's just advertising. Anyway, right, we're underway for Q3. Let's stop the waffle. Let's get in commentary mode now with 8 minutes to go in Q3. It's Leclerc purple sector 1. Alonso's going to be the first one to set a proper lap times, beaten by Sainz though immediately. Verstappen's purple middle sector. Perez, he's killing me. He took the risk not to come out. Oh, is it one of them? Is that why Perez got knocked out? He thought he was through, and it didn't work out. There's his own fault. But Verstappen goes P3 then, so it's Leclerc, Sainz, and Verstappen slots into third. Every driver behind Sainz will gain a position yet. Yeah, I've not taken that into consideration yet, but that will occur. Oh, replay of Alonso locking up. I think Sergio will keep his seat, but that'll be his last year in F1. What, next year will be his last year in F1? I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if Sergio does next year, they get to like September, and Sergio puts a lid on it. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He'd be set for life, money-wise. It wouldn't be a crazy... It's not a crazy prediction, that. You know. I think there's a few drivers. How much longer is Bottas going to go? I feel like Bottas might put a lid on it soon. And then the Haas guys as well. Like, how long's Kevin Magnussen going to go? How long's Nico Hulkenberg going to go? Are they really going to race to the late 30s? I don't know. Is Bottas still going to be here in 3-4 years' time? Is Sergio Perez, do you know what I mean? I think there's a few of them put a lid on it soon. But anyway, here we go then for George Russell's first Q3 lap. 6 minutes to go before we get a pole position confirmed in Vegas. Any new circuits next year? No, there isn't. I was actually looking at that, funnily enough. A few days ago, I was thinking, is there any new events next season? No, there isn't. Unless you count China, because China has been cancelled for obvious reasons for every single year. So 2020 was cancelled, 21 and 22 and 23. So the Chinese Grand Prix has been cancelled for the last 4 years. It is on the calendar again for next season. So China to come back is probably the only new event. So China looking like the return, everything else. And there's a few swaps as well. They're bringing Japan to the beginning of the season. Japan's going to be like round 4. Azerbaijan, I think's moved back to like September, October. So there's been a few switcheroos, but yeah. Here we go then. We are watching George Russell 5 minutes ago in Q3. And across the line, P5 for George Russell. So look at the gap between Leclerc and Sainz as well. 22 thousandths of a second between both Ferrari drivers as we see a replay of Max Verstappen brushing the wall. Wow. Oh, that was as close as you want to get to the wall, that. But yeah, after the first run of Q3, then it's Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen, Alonso, Russell Gasly, Magnussen, and then Albon, Sargent, Bottas. F1 ain't going to China anytime soon. Well, try telling the Chinese Grand Prix organisers that. They keep putting it on the calendar. I think there will be a next year, actually. I think it will be finally back, you know what I mean? After 5 years, I think the Chinese Grand Prix will finally, because it's like, it's sort of taking the piss a bit. If it gets cancelled again next season, after being on the calendar for like the last 3 years and being cancelled every single time, it's like, are you serious? If China doesn't happen again next year, you know what I mean? Formula management just turn around and go, mate, are you ever going to host a race again? Or are you just leading us up the garden path? Is it like, what's the point in your slot on the calendar if you're just going to cancel it every year? So I think next year it's got to happen in a way. Because if it doesn't, it's like, no, the Chinese Grand Prix will happen. Because if it doesn't, it's too much. You're taking a piss. Either don't be on the calendar, don't say you're going to host a race and then not. What about Hamilton Alonso? Could be their last season too. No, I think Hamilton's signed up until the end of 25, I think. So I think Lewis has got another 2 years at least. Alonso, yeah, could potentially. Alonso's a difficult one because you never really know. Because at the moment he's still at the top of his game, so it's not like he's dropped off yet where you think maybe time to retire. He's not there yet, but maybe next season it won't. You know what I mean? I don't know. Fernando Alonso's a difficult one to call. But Lewis, at least another 2 years. But if Alonso's still at the top of his game next season, he'd probably do another year after that. I don't know, man. Alonso is a different breed. Forget China GP and Russia. Oh, Russia's definitely gone. Russia is game over. No chance. But China, it'll come back. It'll come back next. I'll be commentating on the Chinese Grand Prix next April. You know, he'll be back. Leclerc, purple middle sector. I know Malaysia. In fact, that's a good point. Sepang was one of the best circuits on the calendar. I don't know why there isn't a Malaysian Grand Prix. Well, they don't want to pay the money for the entry fee. I don't know if it's a funding situation or what, but there should be a Malaysian Grand Prix. But anyway, here's the fight for pole position in Vegas. And Leclerc goes quicker still, so it's Leclerc on pole at the minute then on a 32.726. What can Sainz do? Obviously, he'll have the 10-place grid penalty, but can he beat his teammate on the day? It's going to be close. Oh, if Sainz goes quickest and then drops 10 places, it's brutal. I almost hope he doesn't get it because it's even more savage if he should be on pole. He's through the final chicane now, Carlos Sainz, and he's going to gun it to the line. Verstappen's in the pit, so Verstappen's third at best. Can anybody break into that top three? So Verstappen's abandoned it, so it's definitely not a Verstappen pole. And Leclerc looks like he's going to be on pole position as Sainz goes second. Sargent goes P4. Come on then, guys. Logan Sargent and Bottas goes P5 then. What can George Russell do in the Mercedes? Come on, split the Ferraris. Oh, P4. George Russell goes to P4. So Verstappen's going to get on the front row here with Sainz taking the grid penalty. And Albon goes P5. Made that Gasly P5. Pierre Gasly, top 5 on the grid in Vegas. Charles Leclerc is on pole position for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Sainz will drop 10 positions, so it'll be Verstappen who joins him on the front row. Russell will end up 3rd. Gasly will end up 4th. Albon and Sargent, both Williams, in the top 6 on the grid in Vegas. It'll then be P7 Bottas, P8 Magnussen, P9 Alonso, P10 Hamilton, P11 Perez, and then it'll be P12 Sainz. That's how it's going to work out. But anyway, it's Charles Leclerc. And I said at the beginning of the session, he's got to be odds-on favourite. And he was. Charles Leclerc takes pole. And he's 4/10 quicker than nearest challenger of Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. He's only slightly quicker than his teammate. Well, his teammate, of course, have the grid penalty. So it'd be Leclerc, Verstappen front row, Russell, Gasly, Albon, Sargent, Bottas, Magnussen, Alonso, Hamilton, top 10. Yeah, I hope Williams gets some points from there. Right, join me tomorrow at 5:45 in the morning. Yeah. Or don't. Watch it on a replay on a catch-up, but I'll be here at 5:45 tomorrow morning. UK time, that is. Obviously, if you're in a different part of the world, then you'll know what time the race starts in your time. But yeah, I'll be on 15 minutes before the start of the race anyway, tomorrow morning, 5:45 UK time. As a heads up, I'll have to end the stream at 7:50, whatever happens. So hopefully the race is done and dusted by 7:50. If not, I apologise in advance because I have to go at 7:50 tomorrow morning. But yeah, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. I know it's been an early start if you're in the UK or in Europe. But yeah, I appreciate everyone in the stream. Please do drop me a like as well. I'll be back for the Las Vegas Grand Prix tomorrow morning, 5:45, 6 a.m. start. Brutal. But this is what this sport's all about. If you can't get up first thing in the morning, are you really that bothered? I'm bothered. Let's have a race tomorrow. It's going to be Leclerc on the front of the grid with Max Verstappen line up second and both Williams in the top 6. I will see you tomorrow. Please just drop me a like before you go. Subscribe if you're into Formula 1. And Las Vegas is on. I'll see you tomorrow, 6 a.m. for the race. Cheers for joining. Vegas, baby.